Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Detroit Tigers. It is the beginning of the last part of this series, and I've given this quite a bit of thought. I think I'm ready to go back to one OOTP video a week. Um, After this series is done, which will be in 1970. And the reason is quite simple. To be honest with you, I'm running out of ideas. Excuse me, that was unpleasant. Yes, I'm running out of ideas. And while I've come up with a couple, none of them seem that compelling to me. So we're not going to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to finish this out and then probably play something else on Mondays. I definitely want to keep at least 2 videos per week. I just don't think the second video is also going to be OTP. I, of course, reserve the right to change my mind if I see something really special, or I get a really cool idea for a challenge, or just something new to play, then I might stick with this. But honestly, the reviews haven't been that great on this series anyway. Um, so yeah. So still gonna go through. So you still get 10 more episodes of this. But then after that, I think we go back to one OTP series a week. And probably pick up something else in the meantime. Right. Let's get some coaches. We have plenty of money, so we want to get the best we possibly can. Look to find somebody who teaches pitching super well. I mean, I think Reggie Mapp is the obvious choice here. Especially because they're going to want to acquire young pitchers to the extent that we can. I guess it is worthwhile. I think I forgot to do this for this one, which is adding player relationships. Which is under... No, I don't really care about personality here. There it is. Boop. Yeah, like, I don't think it's worth sacrificing just to get good relationships. Not that Arthur Bazarnik is a bad choice, but I think Reggie Mapp is just the better choice. So we're gonna go with that. So Reggie, welcome aboard the Detroit Tigers. You'll find that we're Tigerlicious. Hitting coach. I mean, hi Leonard Pierce. Welcome to the club. I'm not even gonna overthink that one. He's literally good at everything. And then we need a new first base coach. What are we good at teaching right now? Front office, staff roles, here we go. Most of my bench coaches just suck, so I just need one who's good at lots of different things. Actually, you know what? These coaches are so... No, he's mid. He's not bad, but he is mid. I think we fire John Davis, and we get a new bench coach as well. Because it makes sense, right? Like, I'm going to want to come in and set my own standards, so... We have a good scouting director and a pretty decent team trainer, so I'm happy about that part. So we'll start with the bench coach. Somebody who can teach all the things, please. Catching is as good a thing as any. I think Lloyd Hoagie is a pretty good choice here. Let's go ahead and grab him as our bench coach. And not just because, you know, he's good at making sandwiches, potentially. And then I think Bennett Horner, I know he does... Oh, Bennett Horner also has excellent relationships. Nice. Yeah, let's get you aboard too. Done. Right. We don't have any superstars. Ron Fairley might get there one day. But I do think pitching is by far our biggest weakness. We take a look at our team home screen. Yeah, we were an uninteresting collection of black. When Roger Craig is your ace, that doesn't bode well for your team. So we need pitching, and we need it pretty desperately. Offensively, I mean, Ron Hansen. The thing is, this is a pretty young team, so to a certain degree, just giving people another chance to develop might be what we're looking for. Um, we also have, for some reason, we keep drafting first baseman for some reason, which is very interesting to me. But he might be a big part of our team going forward, so I can't get too mad about that. Second base is fine. Eddie Casco isn't the best. He's definitely limited offensively, but I can certainly make this work for at least the short term. Um, but he's a one trick pony, which is I don't strike out. Without putting enough baseballs in play, I worry that he is not what we're looking for. Luis Aparicio is fine, although again, very similar skill set. Apparently, the old Tigers had themselves a bit of a type. And I concern myself deeply with having players that don't have very many, that aren't well rounded in skills. Ron Hansen, thankfully, seems to be the exception to the rule, and I'm really interested to see how he develops because he's much more well rounded than the other choices here. John Rohan calls for aid. Jerry Lynch is fine. Certainly needs a bigger role than he's had, probably. And then Jim Landis and Ron Fairley give us a pretty competitive outfield. It's certainly not flawless, but it's pretty damn good, and it's a great start to our team. We just see more of everything, basically. Ed Bailey's also a decent catcher, so we've got something to work with here, but we also need a lot of help to get us where we need to be. Expressly, we need more pitching pretty desperately. So that I think is going to be our number one priority here in this offseason. Let's do sign a free agent. Hi, Jim Gentile. I mean, wait, they just fucking cut him? I mean, he would instantly become one of the best hitters on my entire team. And this is the potentially the funniest possible outcome. You know what? We've actually already made him an offer. Okay. Cool. Ed Roebuck is fine. I don't need either of these jerks, though. That's funny. After all that time, we couldn't find a place for Jim Gentile, and now we add him. Um, can Pete Reynolds play anywhere? It could play second if we had to make him do that. I mean, he's a bit past his prime anyway, so don't know. Player development, very important indeed. I know we're not taking, yeah, spend all the money on all the things. There's literally no downside when we already have like a lot of money. A beg pardon. Don't do that and stop investing in international scouting when we just don't have any. And pour that into the draft. That feels good. Alright. Player development workshop. This is a whole bunch of hard no's, my dude. Okay. Jimmy Hall needs to improve his defense, so I think that's a good choice. Let's make him better second baseman. Ken Harrelson, was he ever an outfielder? I guess he might have been. I'd like him to improve his contact, but I do know no, he'll be alright. Oh, I can't do it because he's injured. Right. That's embarrassing. Johnny Edwards, work on your catching, please. Jack Newman, if you can improve your control of Skosh, I think that would be very beneficial. And let's go to the Major League Club, because I have a feeling that's some improvement to do for Ron Fairley. Ron Man, I need you to get better at defense. Mike Cuellar, I'd like you to improve your secondary pitches. And Gene Oliver, I'd like you to improve your ability to hit for contact, although I don't think you're going to be terribly successful. It's at least worth a shot, right? Interesting. The Dodgers want Gentile. Oh, he's still thinking of my offer. Okay. Cool. A lot of people are thrilled to be a Tiger. Why wouldn't they be? On the map, on the map, on the map, on the map, on the map. Oh, we got all of our coaches signed up. Awesome. No, we're still waiting on the first base coach. Once we have a new first base coach, then I will slot him in. There you go. Why would you want to play for the Dodgers and you could play for the Detroit Tigers? What kind of crazy person would pick a team that's actually good for a team that isn't? That's just silly talk if you ask me. There you go. That's some good coaching right there. Any of my old Cardinal pals. Harvey Haddix and Ken Boyer again. And Veda Pinson. Nice. And Vic Power. Holy shit. I'll miss you guys. I did not know that Archivon won the MVP in 1936. That's wild. I'm noticing a distinct lack of Detroit Tigers being listed there. Thankfully, we have Mickey Mantle, Rocky Colavito, and Veda Pinson, and Ernie Banks and Ken Boyer. Make me feel a little bit better. Ron Fairley finished 4th in Rookie of the Year, I guess. That's something. Damn, Sam Jones finished 3rd in Cy Young. And Ernie Banks won MVP. Not that I'm surprised. 50 home runs as a shortstop is pretty wild. Unanimous, too. Nice. He was the best player in the league, so I'm not too surprised. If I'm being honest with you. Let's see. Hall of Famers. Monty Irvin should have been elected last year if you asked me, but that's alright. He'll get in, I'm sure. Howie Paulette. Yes. Jackie Robinson, sure. Red Schoendienst, not so much. There's a lot of meh here. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of meh. A lot of good pitching choices. It doesn't seem like any of them are likely to get voted in. I'll vote for George Kell. But yeah, this could very easily be Monty Irvin and no one else, and I wouldn't be too surprised. Make this list sortable, you cowards. Sure, Edgar Chapman, why not? But yeah, I think only Irvin's got a real chance to make it this year. Maybe 1 or 2 of the pitchers, but I just don't think there's a ton of options there. But you're finally talking to me. A guaranteed contract. My, somebody's feeling their wild oats. Sure. Yeah, guess what, Ed Roebuck? I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna raise my offer, so you can go right to hell. Ron Fairley's improving his defense. That's good to see. Player development. Um, actually, go ahead and work on your bat speed. Let's see if I can't get you to hit baseballs harder. That'd be good. Work on your defensive catcher, and then who's that one prospect? Ken Harrelson. Work on your life. No, work on your quality of contact. I'm going to be a little bit, because we're so far away from being competitive, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive about picking things that are harder to pick up, but more ultimately more useful. That's kind of where I'm thinking here. I will happily get into a bidding war because I think you're that special. I wouldn't have drafted you with the Cardinals if I didn't think you could get some shit done for us. So, yeah. All right. I remember last time we checked, it's a pretty deep initial draft here. Yeah, like this is a good draft. Um, I mean, rebuilding the Yankees would have been easier except two top five picks, but I still think we're gonna get a great player at number 7. I don't think there's too much debate of that. Who would be my perfect choice? Um, I don't know, man. We need pitching badly. So, I mean, there's lots of good pitchers here too. I'm just gonna wait and see who falls to me and then decide from there. Okay. Joe Torre's a pretty good all-around catcher, but I'm kind of happy with the catcher I've already got. If I end up with Jim Gentile, I don't really need a first baseman. Although he is also an amazing outfielder. Willie Stargell is definitely high on my list. Tony Press is really a first baseman. I don't need to keep going for that, but I mean, we need pitching, and I can't overstress that enough. This is a team that will be supported or pushed forward by our pitching, and so I think we have to take the best starting pitcher. Mickey Lolich was a Tiger in real life. Good stuff, good control, nice mix of pitches, but isn't as good at keeping the ball down as you might like. And our ballpark does support home run hitters, so. Wilbur Wood, White Sox legend. Um, is a really good overall pitcher. If I had a complaint, it's the fact he doesn't throw super hard, but he's also left-handed, and he's got really good stats. He's a definite possibility. Pat Dobson isn't terribly fascinating to me. Nor is Frank. Yeah, I think we're gonna go for Wilbur Wood. I know a guy like Willie Stargell is available and we don't take him. It feels weird, but I think it's the right call. We need pitching talent, however we can acquire it. So Ray Washburn is perfect. He's exactly the kind of player we need. Someone who is really, really solid and can just go right into the rotation. I'm all about that. Welcome to the Tigers, Mr. Washburn. A reliever without a lot of stuff. isn't the best, but I just need arms, and he definitely has two of those, so yeah. That feels good. Jesus Bustamante sucks. I don't know why he's rated to 44 unless somebody really likes his ability to play third base. Because he's a bad pitcher. Like, this is not a good pitcher. He's unremarkable in every possible category, and he's tiny too. Like 5'4" is minuscule. No, thank you, my friend. No, thank you. Roger Repos, I think we can fix him. We can fix him. So I think he's worth drafting. Felix Santana at least has a chance to be an average second baseman, and I think that's a useful thing to have. Here we go. And then, you know what? Do what you want, scouting director. If you feel that strongly about Jesus Bustamante, I guess we can sign him. No, we sadly passed up on him. Jose Martinez just isn't that good. Not for $2,500. No. No. I mean, Alejandro James, if he could figure out how to hit, would actually be decent. I think 2,500 is worth that chance. And then Carlos Paz is just bad. So a thank you, but no a thank you. And we got Gem Tile. We got Jim. We got Big Jim. Which means guys like Runnels and Powers instantly become, and Torgelson all become very, very tradable. Because we need some starting pitching. Is there anyone on the Rule 5 roster that we want to keep around? How am I for backup infielders? I feel like I have way too many infielders. I think McDevitt, quite literally, should be kept. I think he offers enough skill there that is a worthwhile decision there. I don't know who any of you fuckers are, but you're all cut. I'm releasing you into the wild. Because they need to make room on the 40-man for some Rule 5 draft picks. Yes. Richard Wilson. Wilson. Um, it's at least worth grabbing him and letting him throw some garbage time innings in spring training to see if he can figure it out. I think he offers a potential to be a special reliever. Cliff Cook is actually a decent tertiary outfielder. I don't like his contact rating. He's going to strike out a bunch, but I think his power, his overall skill set actually makes him a competitive reserve. So we're going to draft him. And then I think that's it. I think just the two this year. There's just a whole lot of nothing in this draft. Okay. Let me trade Pete Runnels. Pete Runnels can't play somewhere else, can he? No, he can play second base poorly, but that's it. I'm looking for Peaching. What do we got? Hey, Frank Sullivan's pretty damn good. You know what? Done. That was an easy decision. Taking a player that we have a whole bunch at of mediocre spots at, and then getting something really good is awesome. John Powers, I can send back to the minors. So I think I'll do that. And he's not that good. I might be able to use something for him. Maybe. Nobody wants John Powers. I'll probably just end up cutting him then. I can put him in the minors, I guess, is realistic. I suppose. Let's see if I'm right if anybody but Monty Irvin makes it in. Nice. He's gotten better at catching. I love it. Yeah, y'all are all convinced with my offers. My offers are amazing. Like, I think with just league average pitching or slightly above, I'm not going to say we can win the pennant, but I can say we can get out of the bottom. We can put ourselves in a nice position going forward. Wow, Howie Paulette made it and Monty Irvin didn't. What? You know what? I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to question it. Didn't I draft him? Yeah, I did. I drafted him. No, I didn't. I acquired him, but I didn't draft him. What did I give the Philadelphia A's for him? Ah, yes, Sid Gordon. He actually turned out to be a pretty good player, so. Jano. It's fine. It could not be finer if it were Carolina. Damn, OSA thinks Mike Cuellar is an ace in the making. We merely think he's pretty good. Yeah, well, I know who I trust, and it's not a bunch of nerds and the Central Scouting Bureau. I trust my pet nerd. I don't remember when Doritos were invented, but I feel like Doritos were invented right around this time. And if they're not, I will invent them. What do you think I spent all of my scouting on? It's inventing snacks for my coaches and my players to be. That's the real performance enhancing drug. Is quality snacks. Spring training begins. Hey Elvis, fuck you. I hope you die on a toilet. I mean, I say that. If I'm not invested in a game, I find it challenging to watch baseball. But it's also not hard to get invested in a game. I think for me, it's mostly because like I just work and I get pretty tired at the end of the day, and I just don't have the energy to watch a baseball game sometimes. I am weak. I am mortal. No matter how much I wish that I weren't. All right. So Ray Washburn is probably going to make the club out of spring training. Jack Newman will certainly be given a chance. And I think that's it. I will let my bench coaches do their thing. Let's do a 6-man rotation here. And then all the things here. Nice. Good work, gentlemen. Good work. You'd love to see it. I do think we're more than a few players away, but I think a guy like Jim Gentile can actually give our lineup some actual upside to it. I think we have tremendous players. I think it's just going to take a while to see them unlock their true potential. But I'm excited to see what happens. Oh no, poor Hoy Wilhelm. I wonder if he made a Wilhelm scream. Jack Newman is throwing harder than before. Mike Cuellar is throwing super hard. A lot of players are getting better, which is good to see. It's very good to see. Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't know if this is something you want to lead the league in, but sure. All right. We gotta get down to 25. I presently have 14 pitchers. I'd like there to be no more than 11. Ruben Gomez, you suck. You are many things, but a good player is not one of them. Ray Washburn, as predicted, makes the roster. Benny Daniels to the minors. Billy Lowe's released. What am I at now? 11. I think 11 is fine. I think we can work with 11. And that this is a pretty decent setup here. I want to see what Jack Newman can do this year, because he has so much potential throwing as hard as he does. He's got potential to be a real top-tier relief pitcher for us, so I'm excited to see what he may be able to accomplish here. So just use a setup man and no other relief position. Okay, new change. Stu Miller becomes the stopper. And you become just a middle reliever. There you go. Stu Miller's an excellent all-around pitcher. He needs to be given lots of opportunities. So that is what he shall have. All right, 33 players. I have 3 catchers. Russ Nixon is literally not worth my time. So long, Connie Butler. It would be funny as fuck to go ahead and bench Jim Gentile, but I'm not going to do that. John Powers, I'm just going to release. Earl Torgeson's on a pretty short leash, but for right now, we can keep him around. Jim Davenport only plays third base, and I don't see no reason to play him over Aparicio, so I think he goes to the minors. McDevitt's useful. Jose Pagan is useful. We also got a shit ton of outfielders, so let's start getting rid of some of those. We have 4 good to great outfielders, which is nice. Is Carl Furlow like the greatest person in human history? A lot of people like him. Will you take a demotion? No. I'm just gonna release him then. Like, it's gonna make the fans grumpy, but they'll get over it. You should try sucking less. Cliff Cook can go back to his home team. Spangler to the minors. And Harry Anderson to the minors. Done. No, that's not true. Yes, that is true. Sorry. There you go. I feel like carrying Earl Torgeson for no reason isn't the best idea, but like he still offers something off the bench. So I think it's worthy keeping him around just for now. Lineup wise, go ahead and just give me some new depth charts and we'll call it good. You know what? No, fuck that shit. This is my team. I'm gonna set the lineup the way I want it. I'm gonna make my own decisions. I'm a grown ass man. All right. I think Ron Fairley is actually our best choice to be our leadoff guy. Because he's got really good on base skills. So I think that makes him a pretty good candidate to lead off for us. Right behind him, I think, is Jerry Lynch. No, Jerry Lynch has a little bit too much power to be hitting second. All right, Jim Gentile hits third. Jerry Lynch hits cleanup. Bob Skinner doesn't have a position. Wow, really? Jim Landis is a reasonable choice to be our number 2 guy. Hitting 5th, I think, is... Probably Red Wilson or Ed Bailey. Who's starting for us? Is it Bailey? Yeah, it's going to be Ed Bailey. There you go. Ron Hansen hit 6th. John McDevitt hit 7th. Oh, right. Yeah, I don't have a position for McDevitt. Never mind. Hansen's my starting shortstop. Unless McDevitt played second, which he's not very good at. So yeah, I think we use Eddie Casco to hit 7th and Aparicio to hit 8th. And then give me some depth chart action here. This is fine to me. Is Gene Oliver a decent catcher? He's not, but that's okay. This, I think, is a decent lineup, but it doesn't have a ton of depth. We're asking a lot of Jim Gentile, a guy who's never played in the major leagues or more than a handful of plate appearances. So if he's special, if he takes over the league the way that he could, I think the rest of the team is going to be able to lean into this. But I do think there is a lot of we're asking a lot of players that don't necessarily have the highest of ceilings. Um, but again, I'm just looking for competency and maybe trying to get another great player or two to really take us over the top. Yeah, we need a lot more talent in the minor leagues too. That's another concern of mine. The Yankees took Yastrzemski. That's who I would have taken potentially. Actually, I'm not so sure, but that's fine. Who didn't get added to the roster? Newman did not. Sorry. Awesome. Good shit, guys. Good shit. 2,000 hits for Yogi Berra. Amazing. I have a place designated for assignment. Ruben Gomez, go to the minor leagues and learn to suck less, please. Some good improvements. I like it. So Ray Washburn is pretty good. How? Okay, is the AL just thoroughly mid? Or what? Because, like, this is fucking bananas. That we even look reasonably good this year. Like, that's completely nuts. Damn. I mean, he may be Welsh, but he does look like he's at least a decent pitcher. Like, Our offense is mid-tier, and it's not. Jim Gentile's not doing us many favors. We also don't know when he's coming back, which is concerning. But then you get like Ed Bailey balling out, Eddie Casco hitting 290, the top of the lineup doing a good job of getting on base. This is fucking wild, man. Our single biggest off-season acquisition is just mid. That's crazy. I don't know how we're playing this well, besides, remaking the pitching staff. But even then, we're not doing that great. Well, I'm not going to question it. We're just going to keep on going, and hope the good vibes keep going here into the dog days of summer. We're already out of first place. Not Will Harris. Yeah, Torgeson, you're just a bench guy right now. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Um, I mean, here's the thing. Which of my outfielders are you going to push aside? Maybe Jerry Lynch, who's not having a great year? Yeah, Jerry Lynch is kind of sus. I think his time starting is done. You've convinced me, Bob Skinner. No, you're even worse. No, actually, you're not a bad left fielder. You're not a bad left fielder. Yeah, Jerry Lynch has nothing to recommend him at this point, so we're gonna. Normally, I tell people just to go fuck themselves, but I think you've earned it. I think you've earned a chance to play every day, Mr. Skinner. Principal Skinner. You really want me to play Oliver a whole bunch? I kind of want to let Skinner just get some work in. You know who could use Mickey Mantle? I wonder if he would agree to come over to the Tigers for nothing. I mean, whoever wins the American League is going to have to try to get through St. Louis, and I've built a pretty damn good team over there. Claude Raymond is getting better. Richard Wilson's getting a little bit worse. Washburn is about the same. It's almost like he's 36 years old, and that's why it's not very good anymore. Fancy that. Can Dom Mincher play the outfield? He cannot. Can Jim Gentile play the outfield? I don't think he can play it either. He cannot. I probably should be trading. I just don't know what I would trade and what I would trade for. Like, we can get better in any number of ways. I just don't see where we actually make a move at this moment. Um, yeah, I don't know. I could always use Gem Gentile starting to hit properly. That would be lovely. Like, honestly, for a guy whose selling point is power, you need to be hitting it like... He's still fucking fighting this damn injury to his oblique. Not a good look for you, chum. I think Mr. Wilson is a perfectly fine coach, but I think we can do better. But I will keep my assistant GM. He's just a happy little guy, and I trust him. Who made it? Who from DET made it? Stu Miller made it. And Stu Miller made it. Okay. I mean, to be fair, like, if we take a look at our team and who our very best players are right now, I bet nobody has a war of three. No, Jim Landis, I guess, could make a case. Jim Landis could be like, what if I was an all-star? And that's fair. But Tommy Davis is having a great season. I mean, Jackie Jensen got voted in, so, and I can't tell you that Landry is better than Davis, so I think I'm fine with just the one. I'm a little surprised that somebody like who's our pitchingest pitcher right now? Ray Washburn? Oh wow, he's actually just not very good. Okay. Well, there you have it. That explains a lot. No, you're asking to give me a mediocre reliever in exchange for someone who might grow up to be a mediocre reliever. I just don't see it, man. So let's check the trade deadline. There might be something of note. I don't need yet another catcher. Bob Cerv isn't a bad player. I just don't see the fit for my club. Don't see the fit. Jim Pearsall is too limited. We could trade for Gene Woodling, which actually wouldn't be a terrible idea. This fucking man has been an absolute unit. What would it cost me? Nothing I'm prepared to give up, so no thank you. I mean, I could give a Mincher, but I could also just teach Mincher to play a different position. You're a fantastic pitcher, but you're not a starter. So I wouldn't want to spend a lot for you, but I could definitely make use of you. Nobody want. You don't want anything I've got to offer you. Okay. Yeah, I reject your trade. I reject your reality and substitute my own. Does anybody at all want anything out of Earl Torgeson? Any position? Does anybody want him? I will eat his entire salary. I'm just getting even worse offers. So I think we just let him go. And then probably call up Don Mincher. And actually, would it be the stupidest idea to go ahead and just play Mincher at this point? Like, Jim Gentile has been slightly above. Let's just try it. Oh, we are not playing Lynch that often. I spent a lot of fucking money on Gentile, but I think Mincher gives us the best chance to succeed right now. Anybody else that I think we don't have any interest in any longer? Because here's the thing. For the things that Jim Gentile does well, he does other things much, much worse. And I just don't think he's going to have a great career because he's not making enough contact. If he had a contact of 50 or 55, I think he'd be a much more effective player. As it is, I don't think it's very smart. So I think trading him if we can actually makes some sense, especially if I can get a great player at another position or a really good prospect. But I think the problem's good is nobody's going to want it. So we'll see. But I think Mincher's slight edge and contact is more important than his edge and power and devastation. What if I offered you for a batter of some description? And what if I paid his entire salary? I have the money, so if I can get a great player out of this, it could be worth it. I'm not taking Pete Runnels back. I'm not taking Bob Serve. What if I paid none of his salary? Does that change things? Not really. Okay. Al Smith is decent. He's a good all-around left fielder, but he's also, like, a jerk. George Altman isn't terrible, actually. George Altman's actually a pretty good player. Dick Groat is whatever. Bobby Richardson is whatever. Bill White is really good, but I don't have a position for him. But I guess Bill White is even better, like in terms of being a good all-around outfielder. Um, Bill White offers a little bit more than George Altman does, because Bill White's also good at getting on base. I think Bill White might be my choice. Wait a minute. No, I'm not going to go for Gene Woodling, as tempting as that sounds. Minnie Minoso's decent, but he's also not that much of an outfielder anymore. I like Joe Cunningham a lot. Or do we go for Woodling? Or do we go for Minoso? He's a hitting machine. He's very popular and he's durable. You know what? I think he would look great as a Detroit Tiger. You get sent to the main roster. A reliever's got to go. I think that's going to be Gene Oliver. And then you take over for Bob Skinner in left field. And I probably also have you hitting third, Mincher hitting fourth. There you go. I'm gonna play Skinner at first base every once in a while. That's fine. I don't mind that. All right. Because I will note that we are not far out from winning a pennant. In our first season. And I think we just have to take that risk. Especially when it's not much of a risk. Because I think Vinny Minoso offers us a veteran player who's legit. And I think Don Minchner's ability to actually hit the occasional pitch where it needs to go is going to make him more useful than Jim Gentile would have been. And all it cost him was money. I will skip to the next sim. You would offer me John Boozer, who's not bad. And J.C. Martin, who's also not bad. And all you're asking for is Willie Brashear and Claude Raymond. You know what? Done. That's a good trade. That gets us some decent players in here, without costing us a whole lot. Let me shortlist the two of them, and I just want to see how they develop over time. I'm also going to shortlist Claude Raymond and William Brashear. Now watch, now that he plays for the Price from Gentile, it's like 65 home runs in one season, and it looks silly, but I think it's the right play. Is that former legend Bob Johnson? No, this is a Bob Johnson, but it is not the Bob Johnson. I think we got what we wanted to. I think I feel pretty good about that. Like, it is not impossible that we come back and win the pennant. It's maybe not likely, but I think a more reliable bat like Minosa in the outfield, combined with somebody who can actually put the bat on the ball like Minchner, is going to make a difference. Mitchner, sorry. I keep saying Minchner. It's Mincher. Plus, general improvement by guys like Washburn and Cuellar, I think just makes us a better team. Turns out Ted Williams, still a good baseball player. Who knew? Who has been designated for assignment? J.C. Martin. Okay. Go to the minors, nerd. Oh, you need a contract? That's a thing. Okay, well, fine. Demoted. I still think we're lacking pitching. I still think that's the number one thing that we're missing to really be a top tier team. Um, but I think we just need talent. Like, no matter where, Jesus Christ, Cardinals. That's fucking insane. Like, the other teams might as well just not even bother putting their uniforms on. Just like, yeah, it's fine. Well, Don Mincher already has 8 home runs, which is almost as many as Jim Gentile did over the whole season. So, already looks like we won that particular trade. For now. There's still a whole lot of season left. I just think it's a lost cause at this point. Like, I don't see us getting into pennant position. I think we're already too far behind. I mean, we have a better chance than, say, the Cubs do, but... hey, Bob, here's something for you to do. Shut the fuck up. That's your task now, is to close your mouth and don't open it again. Will this suffocate you? Maybe, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Just never open your mouth again. Actually, I suppose you would actually dehydrate before you... No, because you can breathe through your nose, but you can't drink through your nose, so he would die of dehydration. So, regardless... Rude. Hey, we're 10th. That's not 16th. That's... It's a bigger number. No, it's a smaller number, but it's a better number in the power ranking sense. Hey, we're stealing bases. That's something we're good at, I suppose. Remember, don't do what Donnie Don't does. That's the secret there. To be fair, he's actually having a pretty good rookie season. So he's already proving to be the right choice there. The Baltimore Orioles. two of my former teams fighting each other for World Series glory. I don't mind too much. This still gets us into a top 10 pick, which is another outstanding player. So I'm all for it. Damn, Hank, Aaron, looks like you're a pretty good baseball player in this universe too. Who would have guessed? I mean, the Cardinals are so fucking loaded. I think it's just going to be really hard for anybody but them to get out of the National League. Not these guys. Damn, Orioles. That's embarrassing. For the Cardinals to have another MVP caliber season from Mickey Mantle and Ernie Banks, and then you're just like, yeah, we're just going to peace out in the World Series. That's like the kind of bullshit I would pull. I mean, here's the thing. Do we have a great season? No. But I think we're in the right direction now. I think we've added some really talented players that are going to have an impact on the Tigers. And I think we're a couple players away from actually really pushing the American League picture. We were in first place for a fair bit of this season, and while it didn't last, mostly because we were powered by a catcher hitting 400, the fact that we're even in the conversation is pretty impressive. Um, we do need a superstar player. Like, you always need one of those, and maybe last draft would have been the draft to get one, but I think we needed Wilbur Wood more. We needed more starting pitching talent, so. He wanted an all-star, which I got. Attendance got better. Amazing. Mickey McDermott's running for Congress. Okay. And there we go, friends. There we go. What went well this season? Well, Jim Lane has had himself a breakout season. Well, actually not a breakout season. He's actually really good in the past before, but he's a really good player. He does everything fairly well. He's a good defender. He's got a great chance to win a Gold Glove. He's got a respectable bat. It may not be like top tier, but it's really good. And he's a leader, so he's what you look for. He is Mr. Tiger for the moment. Ron Hansen had a tremendous season. Offensively, again, about league average, but defensively, he was quite good. Although he made a lot of errors, so. Ron Fairley was kind of our offensive engine this year. He really improved power-wise, and I think that makes him an even bigger threat next year. Ed Bailey didn't hit 400, but he is still one of the game's best catchers, and he just keeps doing the same thing year in and year out. Aparicio, how much can bench running, can base running and defense take you? Apparently pretty far. I'm really excited about Minshew, though. Like, he is very clearly an excellent player, and I think we've got ourselves a good one here. And then Mignoso down the stretch was a pretty handy player to have. A little bit less power, but still a good player, and still somebody that I'm happy to have in the Tigers uniform. Our pitching wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't great. We got some decent performances, but we also got some bad performances, and I just think we need more top-line pitching talent. How is Wilbur Wood making his way through our farm system? He's already in Double A, which is great news, and hopefully we can see him start to shine here in the next season or two. But that's it. We have a long way to go, but I feel reasonably sanguine about our chances to be a competitive baseball team for the next year or two. So I'm looking forward to that. And I hope you are too. Until next time, my friends, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.